Thank you, Ben. Good afternoon, welcome. My name is Robert Brooks. I'm the Weld Kaizen group leader, and our group safety commitment is we will never compromise our safety or the safety of our team to rush a repair. I'm also the advisor of this quality circle. This quality circle is called Weld Done, and at this time I'd like to turn it over to Fernando, and he will start us out with step 1 and 2.
Thank you, Robert. My name is Fernando Hernandez, Body Weld Kaizen team leader. Let me start off by introducing the team members. We got Brandon Ziegler, the record keeper, Thomas McCowan, the timekeeper. We got John Aldaba, who is a gatekeeper. We got Rudy Quintero and Misael Angeles, the circle members. Let me start off by giving you some background on what we're about to present today so you can have a better understanding. Show Body assembles the doors, the hoods, and the fenders. Conveyance delivers the assembled parts to the CS line. The CS line installs the assembled parts to the cabs. In a period of 3 months, from January through March 2019, a total of 98 minutes of delay time was being caused due to delivery from show body to CS line. Based on our background and our team selection matrix, we chose this team because throughout the shift we get called out several times throughout the day to address dolly issues. For that reason being, our team selection was to reduce delay time from show body. Based on our versatility matrix, each team member throughout the quality circle was given a specific task that will enhance their skill sets. I will start with step number 1, clarifying the problem. Our ultimate goal is to deliver parts safely, damage-free, and cost-effectively. Our ideal situation is 0 delay time. Our current situation is 98 minutes of delay time. As you can see on the graph, our gap is 98 minutes of delay time. Step number 2, breaking down the problem. We know the problem is 98 minutes of delay time coming from show body during delivery. Show body has 4 routes coming from that area, and the 4 routes are tundra doors, Tacoma doors, hood routes, and fender routes. By utilizing Jinsu Genbutsu, we identified the tundra route had 39 minutes of delay time. Broke that down from rear door to front door, and as you can see, front door had 20 minutes of delay time. Broke that down even more, and as you see in this picture, there's the tundra left-hand front door dolly, which has the most amount of delay time of 20 minutes. When we get called out to address an issue, the first thing we do is check the tugger. Then we isolate, we check the dolly train and look for the obvious. Then we have to isolate each dolly. Once we isolate each dolly, then we find our point of location. We then fix the issue and then follow the route to confirm that the issue has been resolved. Our point of occurrence is when we identify the fault location, since each dolly has 5 limit switches. I will now hand it over to Brandon, who will go over step 3 and 4.
Thank you, Fernando. I'm Brandon Ziegler, Body Weld Kaizen team leader. I'm going to start with step 3, target setting. As Fernando mentioned, in step 2, we have a 20-minute delay time on the left-hand front door. We want to reduce that to 0 by June 19th, which will impact our overall goal, which is 20.4%. On to step 4, root cause analysis, using our 4Ms, man, method, machine, material. We'll start with man. We can cross that out because standardized work is followed. We know this because of our JKK audits. Each team member is certified. We know this because in order for them to be on the route, they must be certified. And then the fundamental skills refresher. This is done annually. In order for you to badge in the mobile equipment, the refresher must be done annually. We'll go on to machine 2. In this case, it's our tugger, plug, limit switches. Those are all part of our daily TPMs. Right, so we can go ahead and cross that out. Move on to material. In this case is our cable. We can go ahead and cross that out because that's also part of our daily TPMs. So this brings us back to our machine number 1. So obviously we have our tundra door train. Within that train, we have our 4 dollies. We ask ourselves why. Well, each dolly has 5 limit switches. Why? We must check all limit switches 1 dolly at a time. This can be very time consuming. This is not beneficial to the team member on route, to us who are getting called out to the route, and it's not beneficial for production. So this leads us to our root cause, which is nothing to indicate the limit switch, or which of the limit switches is the one faulting out. I'll pass the mic over to John to explain steps 5 and 6.
Thank you, Brandon. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is John Aldaba, Body Weld Kaizen team member. On to step number 5, develop and countermeasure. During this step, we found 4 potential countermeasures. The first one was to replace all limit switches with new ones. Another one was to only replace the limit switches that faulted out most of the time. Another one was to relocate the switches on the dollies. And then lastly was to add a light to indicate which poke yoke was faulting out. Using the countermeasure criteria matrix with a total of 23 points, we decided that adding a light to indicate which poke yoke was going off was going to be our best solution to the problem. Okay. Coming on down to our action plan here, you can see that it all started out with Brandon developing a TPM and adding the lights on February 5th, 2019, and then on down to Thomas and I installing lights to the poke yokes on the dollies on the left-hand front door dolly. And then on March 12th, Rudy ended up following the route to collect all the data that we needed. On to step number 6, seeing the countermeasure through. Excuse me. Between April 1st and May 20th, Thomas and I ended up adding all of the lights to the limit switches on the remaining dollies on the route. And then, as you can see here, Fernando recorded and compared all the data between May 29th and May 31st, and then was finally able to implement the standardized work on June 1st, 2019. At this time, I'd like to hand it over to Thomas for steps 7 and 8.
Thank you, John. Hello, my name is Thomas McCowan, and I'll go over step 7, confirm results and process. So what we have here is a limit switch. So when the limit switch is engaged, the light is off, which gives us our no fault. So when the limit switch isn't engaged, the light will come on, and that will give us our fault. The 2 graphs here shows that by implementing light indicators to the tonnage dolly limit switches, we were able to reduce the delay time by a total of 20 minutes, a 20.4% improvement than before the countermeasure was implemented. At this time, Susan, do you mind giving me a hand with this dolly? Sure. Awesome. And now, can I get everybody else to focus their attention over here to this dolly?
Make me put my writing material away.
All right, quick question. Have you ever ran this process?
I have not, no.
Perfect. So what I'm going to do is, we're going to identify the 5 limit switches on this dolly, okay? And each limit switch has a light hooked up to it, all right? So we disconnected the audible, that way we don't have to speak over it. So John's going to simulate offloading the doors on the CS line, and then when he's done, you're going to tell us which one of the 5 is the one having the issue. We have the 2 right here. We have the 1 directly across. We have 1 right here. And then here on the back side, look right through there, you can see the 5th one. Yes. All right. Now at this time, John, if you would please badge into the tugger. Now, can you identify which one of the 5 are falling out? The 2 here, the 1 there, the 1 there, or the 1 there? You are correct. All right. Now, if you come over here, you see the letter C?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we also have a letter C right here, which indicates that that limit switch is linked up to this handle, and you can see that this handle isn't engaged properly. So, John, if you would, please. The limit switch is off. Everything's good to go. You can proceed safely to the next process. Thank you. That just shows you that whether you've been on the job for 6 years, 6 days, or if you just learned out where the limit switches were at, you can solve this issue in a timely manner. Thank you. Can we all give Susan a round of applause, please? At this time, we'll start with step 8. Step 8, standardize successful processes. By standardizing our countermeasure, a standard method to identify poke yoke faults was established. The TM running the route can now identify a poke yoke fault and resolve the issue without causing any delay time. If the team member can't resolve the issue, he or she will call for support. The team member doesn't fall behind, and neither do the routes behind them. We will yoke attend this countermeasure to the other routes to improve tack time and produce more delay time to the other trained dollies. As you can see right here, we have our yoke attend schedule. The yoke attend schedule is as follows. The Tacoma dolly was completed in July, the hood dolly was completed in August, and the fender dolly was completed in September. After we yoke attend this countermeasure to the other dolly trains, we were able to eliminate all delay time from conveyance deliveries for shell body to the CS line by 100%. If you see right here at the graph, we had 98 minutes of overall total delay time. Our final delay time is 0, which gives us 100% delay time reduction. At this time, Fernando.
Thank you, Thomas. So just a real quick recap of our quality circle. We have 12 dollies and 49 limit switches. It only cost us $369.46 to address this, to reduce the delay time from delivery. Also, by joke containing this countermeasure to all the 12 dollies, we have to save the team member 32 minutes a month during delivery on each route. That is 384 minutes per year. This concludes our quality circle, and we will now say our reflections. This isn't my first quality circle, but it is my first report out. What I've learned is that being patient and being confident, working well with others, makes the job real easy.
Thank you, Fernando. I learned a lot through this 8-step process. I actually have to report out this quarter, right? So I was able to apply this to the quality circle that I'm going to present out. Also, I'm horrible at Excel, and through this, I was able to get better.
For myself, it was pretty awesome to get a more in-depth look at the countermeasure criteria metrics and how it can take 4 totally different personalities and kind of get you to the best solution for the problem at hand.
This quality circle has given me the knowledge to do graphs without any assistance. I've also learned that the quality circle takes a lot of hard work and dedication, but the end results make everything worth it. Thank you.
Thank you, and this concludes the presentation of the quality circle. Well done, and we'd be glad to take questions if you have any.
Any MSC members would like to give some questions or comments? We'll let them do it on the microphone.
So thank you all. My safety commitment is I'll create a work environment that ensures we can stop con weight during abnormality. I have a question about your action plan. So what was, when you guys put this together, so let me say this, you know, when we go out and we see all these quality circles, a lot of times we don't see a clear schedule, and you all have shown us a clear schedule. When you were putting this together, what was your thinking behind determining those deadlines, and did you meet your plan the first time around, or did you have to make some adjustments?
We made it. The first time we did this, we did run into some issues, right? Because we didn't know whether it was going to work or not. So it was just trial and error. The first dead time we didn't meet, but after we got the first one done, it was pretty easy.
After that, great.
Yeah, it was pretty
That
easy.
was a simple countermeasure.
Okay.
I mean, as far as implementing it, yeah.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, my safety commitment is I'll always ensure that safety is a top priority of Team MTX. So I have a couple. One is, how'd you guys come up with the idea of the lights? So I'd like to find out from that.
Well, a lot of us, we used to work in the Kaizen Cajun conveyance. So we've been out, we've had our issues with resolving them in a timely manner. So there'd be times where, you know, we'd find it quickly. Other times, you know, we'd have to switch out dollies, isolate dollies. So when Tundra Route came along, we noticed it's got 5 limit switches to each dolly, and that's 20 total. You know, Tacoma only has 8 altogether. So when you've got to go and try to see which one it is, there's no real indicator as far as, you know, okay, I've got 20, where do I start? So John and I were in the red cage, he was working on a roof pallet. We had some stem lights back in the cage, and I was like, well, I wonder if we can wire this up to the limit switch, and when it opens, it'll come on, and it did. So from there, I was like, you know what? It'd be perfect for Tundra. So we all got together, figured out the best way to do it, and we accomplished our goal.
Congrats, it was a very powerful demonstration of what you did also. So my question is going to be from overall conveyance now, think beyond Weld conveyance. How can these be applied all the way into assembly conveyance, because conveyance is conveyance. And then maybe beyond that, would all be all the way to on-site supplier conveyance. So any thoughts that you've already explored there?
Yes, I mean, they've been talked about. It's been talked about, even through like clock switches on equipment. machines, robots, and all that stuff. Like, can we apply this light to a proc switch? That way, maintenance, maybe, I don't know. I know that they have a screen that shows them kind of where the fault is, right? But it might help them.
Congratulations.